I heard something this past week. I picked up the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And in this book, something just clicked inside of my mind. It was like the light switch, aha, I've got it. That's what's been missing. Stephen talks about secondary greatness. And I'll kind of start here, make this brief. He goes back to, I think it was early 1900s, where most of the books that were being published were about developing character, developing virtue, morals, and character was of the most importance. Then as time went on, a couple years later, you started to get books by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You started to get How to Win Friends and Influence People. Who's that by again? How to Win That's bugging me. By Dale Carnegie. And all these kind of books that were coming out were more about developing the personality, using different techniques to think about what you want, to get what you want, to manipulate, to persuade. And it was like a whole mindset shift. And he actually dated back. He went back and he collected all these books, and he saw that there was a dramatic shift. It was once about character. It was once about being a man of virtue and goodness, righteousness. And then later on it became about techniques, personality, stuff like that. Manipulation. And that's fine. And the one thing though that really resonated with me, it was like, maybe I've been focused now on too much secondary greatness. I say secondary greatness has the techniques. And I've lacked in these past few years as it's been this developing. I've sort of went away from the core of just goodness, of caring about character, of being a good person, a good man. And guys, that was like, fuck man, I can't, maybe I'm going too far in the wrong direction. Now, there's a side to it where if you just have character and you can't be persuasive or you can't have a good personality, then it doesn't really help. But if you have all this secondary stuff and if you don't have goodness at your core, then in the long run, in our relationships, at our jobs, with the people, relationships, 100% guys, you're going to see that over time, people can see through the bullshit. People can see through the laws of seduction and the laws of power if you're not good at your core. I'm just going to read you just like a paragraph from here. And he likens it to being on a farm. It says, do you ever consider how ridiculous it would be to try to cram on a farm? To forget to plant in the spring, play all summer, and then cram in the fall to bring in the harvest? The farm is a natural system. The price must be paid and the process followed. You always reap what you sow. There is no shortcut. We always reap what we sow, guys. And many people with secondary greatness, that is, social recognition for their talents, lack primary greatness or goodness in their character. Sooner or later, you will see this in every long-term relationship they have, whether it is with a business associate, a spouse, a friend, or a teenage child going through an identity crisis. It is a character that communicates most eloquently. As Emerson once put it, what you are shouts so loudly in my ears, I cannot hear what you say. What you are shouts so loudly in my ears, I cannot hear what you say. Wow. Actions. Guys, I've noticed that in my relationship, if I really want to take responsibility, if I decide to do that, I can pinpoint that the cause of everything is somewhere inside of me. Guys, he says right here, search your own heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. If you take complete responsibility, you will see that within yourself, search your own heart and you'll realize that you are the cause. It is a lack of goodness. I've almost went away. I've become too concerned with getting these little things to learn and then try and put it in my life that I've gone away from a core of righteousness, of goodness, of caring, of love. It speaks about in the Bible love. It gives a definition for love. It says love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not boast. Love holds no account of wrongs. Love is not envious, greedy, and so on and so on. And I've almost lacked that. I've went away from that. And if I look at the problem, it's because I've gone away from that. It's because I haven't been sincere or authentic in my relationships. But you can always come back home. That's the beautiful thing. You can remember yourself as that little kid and just, man, I was a cheeky little kid, man. And like, just come back, dude. Come back to that place of goodness at your core. In thinking and guarding your mind against the thoughts or the things of the world, right? You know what corrupts you. You know what you let into your mind that corrupts you, that kind of poisons the soul. But my friends, we will not fall. We won't drown in that. We will rage on to the dying light. Let's go, boys.